Hello, Elaine from Vivid. Tonight we're going to be making the 6x15 Sanji rosette. It's got a 6-inch head diameter, 15-inch tails. There are 6 tails in total. This is what it looks like completed. This is the back. Set this aside. In your kit, you're going to find you have the ruffle back already mounted. This is what the back should look like. The front. In the center, there's a template with 6 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to start by making your triangles. We've posted a triangle video for you. I suggest you watch that. Practice with the scrap material that we sent. You're going to take your triangles after you make them. They should look like this. And you're going to mount them at the point locations. So you're going to line up. We've set some grid paper. If you don't have a cutting mat, you should tape that to a table. And you're going to line up your points on your cutting mat or the grid paper. You're going to take your triangle and you're going to put it on the point right here. And it's the tip of the triangle is going to line up with the outer edge of the rosette. Rosettes are typically built from the outside into the center. Sometimes you can then add on, but mostly from the outside in. And take our glue gun, add a little bit of glue. It's lined up. And we're going to add it there. Now I'm going to go to the next point, a little bit of glue. Be careful with that glue, it's very hot. You can burn yourself very badly. Now, as you can see that the second point is covered, but I've lined it up with the bottom, so I'm fairly confident I know where it is. And there we go. After you've put on all your triangles, it should look like this. There's 6 in total, and next we need white loops. To make the white loops, you're going to use the narrower ribbon in your kit. It's only 1 1/4 inches wide. And you're going to fold the ribbon in half and staple like this. Excuse me, like that, until you have 6 of them. Fold in half, staple at the bottom. You don't want to staple in the middle because then you'll see your staples. Staple down at the bottom. And take your rosette head. Again, now we're looking for you can see that the template is covered, but that's okay. Now we're going to use a measuring device. A little bit of glue on the bottom, don't go crazy. I'm looking just for the middle of the triangles. I've got it on the board, and I'm looking for 1/4 inch from the edge of the ruffle. I'm using a micrometer. You can use a ruler. You can use a toothpick that you've marked for consistency. I'm just looking for that 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 inch. I don't know why I went to a half. I said a 1/4 inch. You could do a 1/2 inch. It'd just be a much more narrow rosette. 1/4 inch from the outside of the rosette in. 1/4 inch. If we weren't building on a ruffle, we could use just the cutting mat. We wouldn't even have to measure. My micrometer moved. I know that's called a digital caliper. My husband always picks on me because I call it a micrometer. I think it's just a bad habit. Quarter of an inch. We're going to go all the way around until all of these are on. Do you have to measure every time? You can eyeball it. You can. I do. If you're building a really big rosette, it helps to measure, because you'll find if you're a little bit off on the outside, it becomes a little bit off, a little bit further off, a little bit further off, and by the time you get to the center of your rosette, everything's a little to the left, a little to the right. Next, you need triangles, more triangles. For this, the teal, the triangles that you need are the teal color, the dark teal. And for the purple rosette and the pink rosette, you don't need a double layer color. It's just a solid color. So it's only one piece of material. For this rosette, this one, this color is 2 pieces of material. So we're going to take this dark teal and a white piece, glue, and we're going to put them together to make our triangle. So teal on top, white in the bottom. The white is showing when we fold our triangle. Fold, point. Now for this third tier, or layer, tier or layer, it works for me, we're going to trim it. Cut off, and we're going to cut the corners as well. So trim it and just nick off the corners. A little bit of glue, and we're going to align the point of the triangle with the top of the white loop in the middle. We've gone to the middle of the white loop. So just so you can see the trimming again, a little bit slower. I've cut off the bottom. Now you have a smaller triangle. We're reducing some of the bulk in the center of the rosette. This is a small rosette, so having less bulk in the center will look better. Taking our triangle, putting it at the top of the white loop. The next step is shoes. We've uploaded a video on how to make shoes. It's the most difficult step. Please review that and practice before you begin your rosette, or go to it now. Shoes look like this when they're completed. We call them shoes because you could put little doll's feet in there and walk around the doll. You can use either side in your rosette. This is the back side. This is the front. We can put a little gemstone in that pocket. It looks nice. For this rosette, we're using the back side. To build shoes, I'm gonna do it kind of quickly. You make a triangle. You put it 1/4 inch above the heavy line. You come down 1 inch. You're always hitting 1/4 inch beyond the line. Come down 1 inch. 1/4 inch beyond the line. Go into this more detail in the shoe video. Again. Consistent points. You're trying to hit the same spots every time. You can make these tighter if you wanted to have smaller shoes for smaller doll feet. These are going to be mounted a 1/2 inch from the top of the blue. I'm going to come down a 1/2 inch. How do we come up with these designs? Well, it's a good question. I just do. There's really no answer to that. I see a need. The client asks for something special for their dog. This client in particular, she was really excited to get her rosette. It was a dock diving, I believe, so we went with blues. She left artistic control up to me, and that's always dangerous because you'll get something extra special in that case when you leave artistic control up to me. And she ended up with this really sort of special small rosette. And now it's named after her dog because she was the first person to get it. So you're just gonna keep going around, adding them evenly spaced a 1/2 inch from the top until it looks like this. Okay. Now you have all the pieces in place. You're gonna add a circle of cardboard. I don't think we're gonna send the cardboard. You could just cut a piece off your box that we shipped it in. You just want it smaller than the button size, and add that to the center. If you look from the side, there's a little bit of a dip, and what that does is just even things out so that you don't see the cardboard or anything. It just evens things out so that the button is easier to put on. You have a little bit of cardboard in the center. You know, you could get fancy and get black cardboard or something, but you're just not going to see it. Okay, now you've got your cardboard on. You're going to put a dab of, this is optional. I like to add some E6000 glue. That just really permanently mounts the button. And then hot glue. Sorry, this is a recycled button because it's just got my business name on it, but yours will be nice and not recycled. Now, when you're aligning the button, you want to, again, pick a direction. Pick which one looks the best to you. Something really nicely lined up. And use your grid to decide where you want to put it. See, I've got it on the line. So I'm like, okay, I really like the way that looks. And then check to make sure your button is nice and center. I use these 1 kilogram weights from Amazon. They're calibration weights for pharmaceutical scales. And I will just put that right on the button. They don't crush the button or anything. They're just the right weight. As you can see, they mostly cover the weight, and I'll let that sit on there for a minute while the button is setting and I'm aligning the streamers. So I've got the streamers here. I typically align streamers on a mat that is not slippery. Glass mats are very slippery, and I don't usually work on these for aligning streamers. Okay, so I'm going to put the points at the bottom at about, I don't know, 2 inches between the bottom points. And then at the top, they're going to be touching. Actually, they're going to be overlapping. So let's do that. This is a very small rosette, so I'm using the lines on the glass mat to align the streamers. So 2 inches at the bottom. Usually you can make them about the same, and they'll look nice. So 2 inches at the bottom, between the points and the bottom, and then we've got about, looks like 2.5 inches at the top. Let's keep squeezing and see if we can get closer to 2. These streamers are 2.5, so let's go 2.5 at the bottom, and now they're even. So the center is 4 up here. Let's get these closer. We just want a line that's going right down the center, and that's going to help us get everything aligned nicely. So come up a little bit, give us more room. Next is the blue. I'm gonna use this point here. I'm gonna go down an inch and over an inch. Down an inch, over an inch. Up here, I'm gonna come in a half an inch. An inch wasn't enough. We're still seeing streamer at the bottom. So let's try an inch and a half. Down an inch and a half, over. And about a half an inch up at the top. This is how I do streamers. There are no books on streamers or rosettes that I'm aware of. So this is just the way that I do it. Down an inch and a half and over and in. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to get the center streamer, put that down the middle. We've got our line here. Everything's looking good so far. Our printed streamer. We're gonna leave a little bit of room down at the bottom. Oh, glass mats are so slippery. They come with magnets, but I don't really feel like they work very well. I use the weights. I'm gonna trim everything away up at the top. So you have a nice straight line. Now we've set some paper holding your supplies all together. You're going to take a piece of that paper or scrap paper around the house. You're going to fold it in half. Okay? And you're going to put glue in the center. Don't burn yourself. Put something on them, something heavy. I like those weights. Make sure it didn't slide around, which it did. Darn it. Okay. Something heavy. You got your glue on your paper, and you're going to take this all the streamers, and tuck them into your glue paper. Press the glue paper down. Do this for a couple of reasons. Now the streamers are a set. They're not going to fall apart. We can actually just take this set and put it aside and use it a month from now. After we do the next step. We're going to put a little glue in between the layers. Glue here. Glue here. If you try to just put glue all over the top and then put the rosette head on, you can lose a streamer. It becomes very frustrating. This is a lot less frustrating, especially if you're doing now multiple rosettes over and over and over again. What you can do is you have this as your template. So you can just keep putting streamers on top of this, and they're all going to be the same. Okay, so now we have our rosette head. We're going to put glue on the back, and we're going to finish it up. So we're going to put this at the length that we want it. So I'm going to put it at the end, find the 15-inch mark. Here it is. I'm going to put glue on the bottom, find the top, put glue on the bottom, not a ton, just a little bit. Put it at the 15-inch mark. If it was a large rosette head, I might put markers like here and there to help me find it, but it's just a little baby. So I'm kind of watching these lines to make sure that this is crossing at the same point as this. Okay, now it's on. I'm gonna take this, some more glue, secure it. Streamers are on. I'm gonna take the rosette back, fold that over. You don't have to, I do. I don't know why that's there. You're gonna put glue on it. Find the top point. There it is. Make sure your bridle hook matches up with the top points. And there you are. Complete. Does it match? No, it doesn't. It looks like I did the streamers a little bit different. I put the white on the outside for this one and the navy on the outside for this one, but you can see, you know, personal preference. You could do it either way. Technically, on a rosette like this, I like to match the outside streamers to the rosette head, but you know, this was a custom, so we did it a little bit differently, and now we're matching the custom. So it's whatever you prefer. We're sending enough so you could do it. You could do it any way you want, and there you go. Congratulations. Thank you for watching.